Hey, Vision Chasers, it's Dr. Byrd here. I am very, very excited to introduce to you this new feature that we're adding to this channel because I'm always telling you to chase your vision of success. Please keep chasing the vision. Well, in order to do that, that's going to include some research because many of you may not even be aware of what you want to do when you get out of high school or what you want to major in when you go to college. And so you're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to ask questions. And so I present to you, this is the first episode of this podcast that we started here, Vision Chasers, where I talk to people in different career fields just to ask them what they had to go through, what did they do on a day-to-day basis, so you can kind of get a feel for what it would be like and determine if that's something that you want to do. So if in the future, if there's someone in a certain career field that you would like for me to talk to in this podcast, because this podcast is going to be about 10 to 12 minutes long at the most, just send me an email. Send me an email, say, hey, Dr. Byrd, I'd like for you to talk to a person in the culinary industry, talk to someone in that field. So I will definitely do that because this is for you. So what we've done with this first one is we have aimed high. We've aimed high because I had a conversation with a cardiologist. So if you are interested in becoming a doctor, and there's many different fields within the medical field. So there's all kinds of places you can go is what I'm trying to say. And so the cardiology, perhaps that is an area that you may want to specialize in. So with that being said, I present to you my conversation with a cardiologist, and his name is Jonas Cooper. Dr. Jonas Cooper, thank you so much for joining us. How are you, sir?
Dr. Byrd, it's a pleasure. I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. So you are a cardiologist. And tell us about, so you're a doctor, but you're a cardiologist, to be a little bit more specific. So for those who don't know what a cardiologist does, would you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Sure. Well, there are a couple different flavors of cardiologists, but all of them take care of people's hearts. And so there are internists who take care of the rest of the body and specialists for each organ, brain specialists, eye specialists. Our specialty is the heart. And that can be the plumbing side of the heart or blockages for people who can put in stents or fix anything that is narrowed and manage cholesterol. There's a flavor of cardiology called electrophysiology, or as I call it in English, heart electrician, that handles the electrical rhythms of the heart, pacemakers and defibrillators and extra heartbeats. And so there's the cardiac surgeons, of course, who do the open heart procedures. So there's a couple different flavors, but all of them about the patient's heart.
Wow. Tell us about you said electrician, heart electrician. Tell us a little bit more about that, because when you think of heart and you think of electricity, those don't seem to go together very well, but it doesn't seem safe, I guess you would say. But could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. In fact, that is my particular specialty. I am a heart electrician, and that involves handling the fact that the heart is a muscle and it needs to pump and move blood. But in order to do that, it has a timing cycle. It has to know when is it time to beat, almost a little like the spark plugs for an engine. It has a natural metronome, and these are real living cells that, for very interesting biochemistry reasons, send out signals at intervals, a little faster when you're active, a little slower when you're at rest, and that's your body's natural pacemaker or metronome. And then there's a wiring system that basically acts like, copper wires and sends that signal off to the rest of the heart so that all of the muscle cells knows when it's time to beat.
Wow, that is interesting. And so tell us, why this particular field of medicine? Why did you choose to study to be a cardiologist?
Well, I think like so many things, it comes down to great mentors in life. When you want to do something, if you can find someone who inspires you and can show you the ropes and tell you what it takes to do a particular field, and they can make that exciting for you. They can inspire your career and launch it. And so in medical school, I did not yet know I wanted to study cardiology. However, I had a number of mentors come into the classroom and offer us to go visit their laboratories, both in terms of bench research, doing cellular biology and test tubes, but also more importantly for me, going and taking care of patients in the lab and seeing pacemakers go in and seeing what we can actually do to open up a blockage if you need to. And just really wonderful, very smart, caring mentors launched my career.
Wow.
My interest.
So mentors they're very, very important to someone just beginning their career, or just trying to figure out where they want to go in life.
Oh, it's critically important. You have to have some drive and some hope, but finding a mentor is one of the most important things that you can do. Someone that you believe in, and someone who inspires you.
Excellent. So go ahead.
Sure. I think there are no end. It's sometimes a challenge to find one, or it might seem that, but I think there's no end to them. And almost if you ask, you shall receive. So I offer students all the time, you want to come to the lab with me? Come on in. I'd be happy to show you what I do and try and help your career along. And I think there's a long list of people who would be happy to do so.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So lastly, tell us about the training and the amount of school that you had to go through in order to become a cardiologist. What does one have to do?
Sure. Well, the training is long. If I were trying to be optimistic, I would say that it's a wonderful process. I do remember a woman who was training under me, who a patient referred to her as a nurse, and nothing derogatory at all about nurses. It's a wonderful, caring, giving profession, but she did not take kindly to someone assuming that she was a woman, therefore couldn't be a doctor.
Yes, that's bad.
And so she shot back that she was in grade 27.
Oh, wow.
And technically that's actually correct.
Gosh.
So the training process is a little long. If you call college grades 13, 14, 15, and 16, then medical school is 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then your internship and residency. Although thankfully at that point you start actually receiving a salary, and typically your starting salary at that point is it's actually, even as a trainee, it's better than at least 40 to 50% of salaries in the United States, even at the trainee stage.
Wow.
So you finally start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then within cardiology, you can spend an extra year or two doing separate disciplines within cardiology. So if you want to be a heart electrician beyond cardiology, it takes a couple extra years to learn it. But all that time, you're having fun doing what you want to do, and you're also thankfully receiving a salary as well, because you can't really delay life that long.
Absolutely.
And it's a wonderful process. It's you can sort of see yourself growing and mentoring other people as you do, and helping people. You get to be part of people's most intimate lives, and their health is one of their most precious assets. And you get to help that and fix that, and it's got the most rewarding thing. I often tell my patients, I can't believe they pay me to do this. It doesn't feel most of the time like work. I love what I do.
So, Dr. Cooper, lastly, what I'd like to ask you to do is I'd just like to ask you to what words do you have for someone who's maybe in high school and they're just beginning to think about what they would like to do after they graduate?
Well, I would certainly encourage continuing education. I think education is frankly the golden ticket to life. To just about anything that you want to do, education will get you there. And I would say that one of the steps that I believe in is preparation. And what I mean by that in this case would be the standardized testing that everybody dreads. And it's just one of those sort of I don't know if it's a necessary evil, but it certainly feels like that.
Right.
You have to take standardized testing, and you feel like it's foolish to try and sum up your life in one test and one set of hours. But the reality is that's what life dictates. And for me, I took the SATs my first time, and I was really dissatisfied with the score. And I did not take a formal prep class, but I went to the libraries and I bought books of SATs, is what it was pretty much everyone took at that time. And they sold books of real expired SAT tests. So it was basically exactly the same test as I would be taking. And I bought 2 books of 10 each. So I had 20 SAT tests. And I took about 15 of them. So when I walked in to take that test the second time, I had already done this 15 times. And it doesn't matter if you're learning to throw a football or free throws or play the violin. I mean, the first time you do it, you're not as good. And so the SATs and the ACTs are not a test of intelligence, even though that's what they like to tell you they are. They're not. If you prepare, you're so much ahead of the game, and you will have a better score that actually does improve your chances, improves your chances for schools and scholarships and opportunities. So I would highly encourage preparation, whatever you can do. Anything is better than nothing, but if you set aside, an hour on a weekend, every weekend for a year, it doesn't have to be a year, you are going to ace it, and you will really understand what the test is made of, and you will show what you can do.
So there you have it. And boy, I almost jumped out of my seat when he talked about the importance of preparation, when he was talking about standardized tests. And I promise you, I didn't tell him to say that, but that is so true. That's what life is all about. Those who are willing to put in the effort to prepare for success. That's it. Many people think that, I don't, this social studies, I'm not going to need it and when I graduate or when I go into the real world. Possibly not the information, but the practice in preparation. That is key. And so let me stop there because I'm going to go longer than I wanted to go. So I hope you enjoyed that interview. Again, if there is someone else in another field that you'd like for me to grab someone and interview, please send me an email. It's right here, mbyrd@visionchasers.com. This is for you. This is a service. This is to help you. So there you have it. That's the first episode in this podcast. Again, send me an email if there's another career field that you're interested in, and I will make sure I grab someone and talk to them for you. So until we meet again, please keep chasing the vision.